We'll move on to our next speaker now, and so that is Raider Castro-Pino, who is going to be discussing diversity and natural history of native bees of the Western Amazon in Madre de Dios, Peru.
Hi everyone, my name is Ryder Castro. I am a biologist from Peru, and I have the pleasure to talk about diversity and natural history of native bees of the Western Amazon in Madre de Dios, Peru. I want to talk about first about the unique features of the Amazon forest of high plant diversity and 30-meter canopy. In the Manu National Park, you can find a lot of trees, and it's well defined, uh, has well defined seasons, the wet and dry. And the curious thing is, in the dry season, you can saw a lot of flowering plants. And when this finish, the mammals have offspring, have child, and um, base of this can eat, and it's very interesting. Well, this is the Amazon. Normally, Brazil have more territory, but Peru, Colombia, and Bolivia also. And the curious thing uh, is, I was in the Manu National Park in the right, and CC is the name of Coxacashu Biological Station, and it's so diverse also. And the other place where I sample bees is LA, and the meaning is Los Amigos Biological Station. And the Amazon forest of southeast Peru is threatened by deforestation and illegal gold mining, but also living museums and biological laboratories have high levels of speciations and low levels of extinction. The bees in the Amazon is diverse, but with lack of data collection due to difficult access. Little studies studied taxonomically, and several groups without revisions like Ilaeus and Lacerosum. Many species with unique traits and a very small niche. The study overview was that we collect at two sites, 300 kilometers far from each site. One is in the Manu National Park and the other is in the buffer zone in the mining corridor. And each site were sampled for 6 months. Sampling consists of fly interception traps and manual netting. This is the sample size at Manu National Park. The north points is in the major forest. In the south points was in the transition forest, and have different structures, community species. I want to talk about the illegal mining close to the buffer zone and management. It's really dangerous for different species. For example, Melipona need a big trees for nesting. The illegal mining is also appear and increasing close to the buffer zone. The diversity of bees in this place was in 5 families, 80 genera, and more than 160 species. Unfortunately, only the 50% of these bees had been described. The Peruvian lowland rainforest has new species undescribed. One new species of oil bee centuries to be described is in progress, and other possibly undescribed species in Neocorinura and cuckoo bees need revisions, and at least 130 new local records. This is an example of cuckoo bees, Ratimus, Nomada, Osiris, and Temnosoma. Normally appear like single tones or double tones, not very common. And in base of natural history, we use this book and also others for try to understand very well the ecological interaction these bees in this place. Something very interesting was the habitat preference. For example, Partamona vicina is a stingless bees and use termite nests for nesting. And something curious is only appear in high terra firma forests compared with the flooded forest. You can compare these two habitats very is well differentiated. Other specialized in this habitat is Bombus transversalis, is the unique bombus in the lowland Amazon, and also other species of bees that have this preference is Oxaea, and is part of the Andrenidae family. Other thing very interesting was we find Tetrapedia bees nesting in or well reuse nests of mother wasps, and it's very interesting. Antodioctes used in Brazil. Another thing was Scotocryptus is a beetle normally used feces of stingless bees for eating, like resource, like food resource. And we find in Heotrigona, and it's the first report from this area and this association also. This is a work in Brazil also. And floral records, we can find some big, strong association with Senna. It's a fabacia, and it's big related with some centuries, but normally was in the beaches. And Eugenia is the other plant. This is related with Megalopta and other bees like Ilaeus and Meliponas. We find also some attack nests of stingless bees in, in, in the lowland uh, rainforest. Giant armadillo attack other species of Trigona, not Trigona mater, but also is a report in Brazil. And the most interesting thing, I suppose, is this is a impress work. We find this beetle and it's associated with wounded stingless bees because when a carcass of mammal appear, it's a scarce resource, and these bees fight for the resource. And normally, the casualties was wounded or dead bees. And Macrogyrodonia, this beetle, was part of Staphylinid family. Take advantage and eat, and we make some food choice experiments, and normally use bees, not other group of insects, and it's so interesting. And also we find nesting aggregations. Well, no, sleeping aggregations. Sorry, in Tetrapedia also, but also in Eucerini, in and new records of praise of the Streamelita because this is a kleptobiotic bee and attack different stingless bees, but in this case attack Partamona, and it's a new report. Um, this is all. Thanks, and this is thanks a lot.